Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I can't wait to wear long sleeves again. Correspondence dinner. Yeah, apparently they're having the correspondence dinner after the assassination attempt. When was that? In April? Sometime around there. April or March or something. Oh, it was last month? No, that was several months ago, if I remember that correctly. Maybe it was in May, the correspondence dinner. Trump is giving a speech at the correspondence dinner. He's going to make remarks shortly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything earth shattering. It's probably going to be jokes. That's normally how those things are. Keep buying AMD. I don't buy stocks like that. I love that first time in the fall you could put on a jacket. Yeah, I like wearing long sleeves a lot more. It's just my arms are too skinny, honestly. I just look better in long sleeves. I can't wear long sleeves though. I had to give it up. I was like, because I can wear jeans pretty much any temperature, but long sleeves, it's not really manageable. It's just too hot. Yeah, I saw that Shiloh Hendrix or whatever. I thought that was terrible for saying the N word. That shouldn't be ruled. I don't know what the exact ruling was. Maybe it was like disruption, public disturbance, maybe something like that is what it got ruled. LeBron to Philly, I was surprised. Looks like you're a Philly fan. Yeah, I was surprised LeBron to Philly. I don't watch the NBA anymore though, so but you look at that team, it doesn't really look like it's a fit at all unless LeBron is going to come off the bench or something. I mean, they have like three small forwards. If you think about it, I guess he can play power forward, but with the NBA nowadays, they get so many possessions, it might not matter. No, I don't know yet when that's going to happen. Soon though. Daily stream streak at 2. I know. Well, I wasn't even going to go live tonight, and then I was like, eh. I saw some clips from the Hunter Biden Nick Fuentes interview, so maybe those will show up on here. I'll react to them. You had Sheets for dinner. Sheets for gas station. Well, Sheets is not that bad, but gas station food for dinner is that's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow, literally and figuratively. I go into Sheets to get fountain drinks, and they do have it's a newer one, so they do have the ability to order. I think all of them have that. You can get like food. NBA is anti-white, anti-American. Well, yeah, no, it certainly is anti-white. But I really wasn't even a fan of the NBA, and like by 2019, I wasn't a fan of it. I know a lot of people left it in 2020. In 2020, they had the players put Black Lives Matter on the back of their jerseys. Remember that? They said you need to pick a slogan, and the jerseys literally was like 50 characters on the back of their jerseys. It's like Black Lives Matter. The slogans were like white people are racist or something. It's like equality or something. You know, how's your crypto doing? I haven't really bought any crypto in a long time. So, I mean, it's doing pretty much how I would over the past like 8 months now that I've accepted where it's at. It's not doing anything, but it's not really. I mean, obviously, if it's a bear market, you're not going to have a lot of opportunity to make money. Well, actually, you do have a lot of opportunity to make money if you're buying, but I mean, if I'm already in, there's really nothing you can do other than hold. But I'm really not buying crypto. I'm buying some ETFs. I'm more so buying stocks and like leverage plays off of crypto, things like strategy, even like a 2x ETF, stuff like that. Trump is live. I mean, dude, the thing is, maybe I'll see some clips from it. Actually, that could be kind of funny because he's probably going to roast people. But I've heard Trump speak a bunch. They put slogans like "choose love" on helmets. It's like behind the end zones they do that. I don't really like the NFL anymore either, just because I don't think the product is very good. Rubio or Vance? Vance for me. Hunter Biden clips. What was your favorite? I don't. I mean, it was pretty funny when Hunter Biden was like, "You pass as an Aryan," and then Nick Fuentes was like, "Thank you." But I don't know. I mean, that interview thing. It's like Fuentes tries to appeal to those. To it's like all cushiony and there's not a lot of confrontation. LeBron to the 76ers. Yeah, I mean, I think it's bad spacing. I don't think it's going to be a good fit. They have three small forwards if you think about it. Think about it. LeBron, Jaylen Brown. They got someone. Maxi's a shooting guard, but I mean, still, it's like it's just redundant. How is Maxi, LeBron, and Jaylen Brown going to play together? It doesn't even work. And then you add in Embiid, but you know Embiid's going to be injured.
Statue to his right, while the other half of the frame is defined by movement. A truly striking image of contrast, skillfully captured in a chaotic moment. Please join me in congratulating
I was like, that sounds like Wolf Blitzer.
Getty Images photographer Andrew Harnick, who also represents still photographers on the WA.
Trump is openly backing Vance. Ooh, is that true? That's pretty big if that's true. I mean, you get these reports every day, though. Trump is now openly backing Vance as his preferred 2028 successor. This coincides with Vance's media tour. Trump reportedly praised Vance's recent weight loss. There's been a lot of that. What does that mean? Yeah, this is big news. You want me to openly back Vivek? I can't do that. Trump put tariffs on Mexico lettuce. Yeah, that lettuce was real, but that's a lettuce from hell, apparently. The lettuce that caused the outbreak in the Taco Bell restaurants. If I go to the live speech, it's just going to be me not doing anything and just react. I mean, I shouldn't. I didn't even know there was a freaking correspondence thing that tonight. Like, if I go to a live speech, I'm not even going to say anything. I just sit there the entire time. That's what happens with those type of things when you react to them. It's like when I tried reacting to the Joe Rogan Trump podcast, and it just turned out to be a shit show. I remember that. That was in 2024. Yeah, she did just have a baby. You can pause it. We don't care. Yeah, people don't like that. You're not even like if I'm watching something live and I constantly pause it, and I wouldn't like that if someone was doing that either. Yeah, I mean that's what I kind of think. Maybe I'll see the clips, but it's like I don't. Man, look how bad Biden looked. Whole. That's got to be edited, man. That's got to be the camera glare or something. That dude looks like one of those dummies. Everyone was mad at you. Yeah, I do remember that. It ended up not mattering though. I mean, people were mad at me because I wasn't playing it, I think, or something like that. But it was like I was trying to watch it. Well, no, you know what happened is they botched the release of that Joe Rogan podcast. They botched the release of it. There was something wrong with it, and some people were getting it early, and it was a complete mess. They weren't supposed to release it on YouTube first, but they did. Is I think the problem. Thoughts on LeBron signing with this? I mean, I think it's a spacing problem. I don't watch the NBA anymore, but I don't think the 76ers are going to win anything. And they got injury problems with Embiid. That team's not going to win anything. And it's not even necessarily that the Knicks will win. You got the Celtics, Cavs, Knicks. I don't think they're going to get out of the East. What's your take on the Iran stuff now? Well, I don't even. I think they're starting to ramp it up again. I really hope they look. They're kind of screwed either way because now they're in this position where if they take a deal with Iran, it's obviously going to be a lesser deal. It's not going to be seen as a victory for the administration. But if they push forward, it's going to cause more domestic economic problems. Now, I think they should just leave it completely. And I guess that would entail some type of new nuclear deal or something with Iran. But the administration, they're not going to want to count this as a loss. So they are saying to themselves, well, we have to continue this. It has to continue. Otherwise, it's going to be seen as a loss by the administration. So if they can continue it to the point to where Iran is weakened significantly, they can get more leverage and they can get Iran to agree to a better deal. But I understand at this point, it's like, and this has been the problem when they didn't completely eradicate. I don't even know how they were going to do it. Like, I don't even know what it looks like to eradicate Iran. I guess the regime would just collapse immediately. This is honestly probably what happened. I think Netanyahu straight up lied to the administration and said that they would, if you struck all of their top leadership, Iran would fall. And that's obviously not what happened. They struck all of their top leadership. They killed a bunch of their commanders. All of the top people died. And Iran, just like that, installed new leadership. And then they went through another round and killed all of them. And then Iran just installed new leadership after that. So now, and I just think the Middle East is just, it's just horrible to even talk about. I just get tired of talking about it. I don't, it's just, but I would say they need to just get out of the Middle East and just call it a loss. I would just leave the Middle East, try and gain some type of final leverage over Iran, sign a nuclear deal. I don't even know if you can get uranium from Iran because do they have leverage to be able to do that? Like, that's the other thing with these type of things in the Middle East. It's like they struck a bunch of their nuclear sites last year, but they still have enriched uranium. So what does it even do? And I guess it kills, it destroys a bunch of their centrifuges and stuff, but none of this stuff it's all cloudy. No matter what you do, there's always problems with the Middle East. I wish they wouldn't have gone in there. It's not good for the administration. Trump said it will take around 25 years to rebuild. Isn't that pretty good? Yeah, but who knows if that's even true? I mean, it's 25 years to rebuild what their nuclear. If that's the case, then why not just leave? If it's going to take them 25 years to rebuild, why would we continue to sacrifice the midterms over staying there? Like, who knows if Trump, what anything that Trump is saying about Iran is true at this point? If it takes them 25 years to rebuild to become what their military, that's great. Then we win. Leave. The administration doesn't do things for the administration. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. But they got some bad intel, and they've been influenced by the wrong entities, and that they're in this war. And how do you defend it outside of? I originally said, well, maybe it'll be over quickly because I think that's what the plan was, and obviously that's not what ended up happening. He said we beat them 3 months ago. He says Iran has been defeated he said it like 100 times. So how can you really take anything that he says at this point seriously when it comes to Iran? You can't. There has to be some form of peace deal with Iran for anyone to really even these MOUs nobody really takes seriously because I think they're just trying to stall Iran, and they're going to have to go to war with Iran in a much bigger way after the midterms. If they really want to come out of this as the quote unquote victor, they're going to have to strike Iran a lot more. And that's just the reality because Iran is not capitulating. Even if they've already been struck and they talk about all the bases or the military installations they've eliminated and the infrastructure they've struck and the bridges they've hit, it's obvious that Iran is not going to surrender unless they get just utterly demolished. So if you want them to sign a really nice deal that looks like the administration wins, you're going to have to sacrifice the economy, at least in terms of gas prices, for 6 more months. They're not going to do that right now. They don't have the political the political timeline doesn't align for them to get too aggressive with Iran. They might be able to do something here or there because it's still July. But when it gets into September, I don't think they're going to do shit. They can't do anything when it gets to September, October because the midterms are too close. So they're going to have to delay it. They're going to have to delay the aggressive attacks until sometime after the midterms. Because it's like, obviously, they're not going to reach an agreement. This is very clear. They do a 60-day agreement to stall them, to try and calm down the global price of gasoline, which is very important. It's unfortunate, but it has a huge impact. Do you think most of the crazies are on antidepressant medicine? I think the antidepressants are not good for people. I think there's some bad side effects and it's artificial and it potentially could make your chemical imbalance worse when you get off of them. I don't know about those they're pretty destructive. And now a lot of women get them. It's just like a bragging thing. They always say they're prescribed on them. It's the SSRIs. I think they overprescribe a lot of these women. It's bad. Your opinion on when Greenland's going to happen? Because I don't see it happening. Well, like I said yesterday, it's gonna come back in the news at some point. You just gotta wait for it. It'll come back in the news. Everyone will be talking about it. Give it like 5 months. This is the news cycle, dude. It comes back, then nobody cares. Then it comes back, I mean, this is. It'll come back. They'll talk about it. Trump will obsess over it for a few weeks. Then they'll sign some type of joint agreement with Greenland and Denmark. That's what I think's gonna happen. Cheap cost of living. It is insane when you think about. I was thinking about this. Really, the most destructive thing for a person, I feel like, when it comes to like monetary, just a normie middle class person, inflation is the most destructive thing. Like your money becoming less valuable and having to understand the scale of cost. It's just demoralizing. I was thinking about that. Like, think about what things cost in 2020 versus now. Even thinking about making a salary of 110K or 120K, is it even really that much? And I know people have said that already, but I do think that it's demoralizing. Inflation is like the worst thing for a populace to deal with. Lexapro, Prozac. Oh, yeah. They all get prescribed it. It's like that demographic, females in their 20s. Why did you think that Trump wouldn't nominate Warsh? No, I saw that's not what that was something different because I thought he wasn't going to be confirmed or something. I read a news headline wrong. More than half the country makes under 100K a year. I think way more than half makes under 100K. No, under 100K, listen, it really depends where you live. I mean, certainly there's areas where you can stretch an income of even 70, 80, 90K for sure. But again, if you live in a decent area, it's the cost of living adds up quickly. Maxing out 401K in 30 years still not going to be much because inflation will be fucked. Yeah, I mean, I understand the strategy of 401Ks and things like that, and it is a hedge against inflation. You should be able to beat certainly inflation with a 401K, but you're barely breaking even especially if you know what happened when 2020. Although to be fair, 2020 was an amazing investment opportunity just in normie stocks. You know, you could have bought. I was looking at that T triple Q, the 3x multiplier Nasdaq. Imagine what it was in 2020. You probably get like a 7x off that bitch in 2020. Do you think Trump will try to run in 28? I don't think so. I saw a headline where Trump is potentially backing Vance over Rubio. I just saw that like 20 minutes ago. Best place to live in Ohio? I don't know. I've only lived in one place. I haven't been to a lot of places in Ohio. Generally the best places are suburban cities surrounding urban centers, but far enough away where it's not too close. But I mean, listen, I know people like city life, but the problem is it's just so expensive. You don't own any land and you're on top of each other and there's a bunch of crime. You think Trump backs Rubio purely because Rubio is more pro-Israel? I don't know about that. Yes, no, it's very clearly that Rubio is going to get all the Israel money. Make no mistake about it. You look at Vance, and people say, "Well, Vance is dumb. He's doing this thing where it's like he's standing in the middle of the railroad tracks." He isn't necessarily super pro-Israel, so the Israel people are against, like, they're against Vance. The Republican Israel people, they want Rubio, and they like do not like Vance, and I see it on Twitter all the time. But then you have the further right-wing people, the more nationalist people. They say, well, Vance is owned by Peter Thiel. He's still a shill for Israel. He's fake. And so Vance is like in the middle. So it's like, where is Vance's support? But I think Vance is trying to like hold the coalition together. I mean, dude, the thing with Vance is, say what you want about him. The guy, he can articulate himself. He's a smart dude. And I would imagine he's going to be able to calculate his chances in 2028. And I like Vance over Rubio, I'll say that. And Rubio, whether you say he's a neocon, he's had this revival where he's because remember in 2016, Rubio ran and he lost to Trump, and it was like he was the younger version of the old guard. Like Rubio was young, but he was still almost part of the old guard, like Romney, McCain era Republican. And now he's kind of remade himself under the administration. But he's extremely war hawkish. He's extremely pro-Israel. And then the question is, well, what if Vance tethers himself to Rubio and Rubio's the VP? Word is Rubio's leaving public life after this term. Well, that would resolve it. I didn't see that rumor anywhere. Do you believe in the exploding mic to Charlie Kirk? Exploding microphone? No, I don't believe in any of that. And really, that video of Charlie Kirk getting shot, it's going to be released to the public at some point. And they'll say it's AI or whatever, but that's probably going to put a lot of it to bed. There's a lot of conspiracies. People make money off of it. And it's not good. And it is insane how the world works. And that time when Charlie Kirk was shot, that was so terrible. And these liberals are just, you become numb to it, but it is insane. These people, they try and, it's like they were trying to compare George Floyd to Charlie Kirk, like that's even close to comparable. But even I was listening to the Nick Fuentes Hunter Biden thing, dude, and Hunter Biden literally tried to do, are you sure that Tyler Robinson wasn't a conservative? And honestly, Nick Fuentes didn't even do a good enough job in the argument. Tyler Robinson said that that you can't negotiate with evil, and the bullet casings had engravings that were tied to like communist slogans. It's like Tyler Robinson was very obviously a leftist. Like these liberals do this thing where it's like Tyler Robinson was this conservative, so then it makes sense that he would kill one of the most important people within the conservative movement. Like what? What are you talking about? It's like, but they do this to try and like cloud everything. And it's the exact same thing with the Trump assassination attempt. And then all the messages got found that the kid's a liberal. Obviously, the kid's a liberal. Why do you think he was trying to assassinate Trump? Trump's been the leader of the Republican Party for 10 years. Oh, yeah, a staunch Republican is going to try and kill the leader of the Republican Party for the past 10 years who revived the party. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Charlie, he was an Israel shill for sure, Charlie Kirk. Now, people say, well, he was turning, and that's why Israel took him out. And, there actually were text messages that turned out to be true that I was surprised by, where it did seem like Charlie. And listen, Charlie Kirk had to have known that the young people fucking hate Israel. So for him, it's kind of like Vance. It becomes a hard juggling act within the party. Mm. You don't think he was shot with a 30-06? Yeah, I mean, dude, I've seen deer, not even the bullet don't even go through deer with a 30-06 in videos. I don't think people, ballistics, they ricochet in a number of different ways. I think people they think like it's ironclad if you get shot with a 30-06, one individual thing is supposed to happen, and it's just not the way it's not the way real life works. There's a number of different things that can happen. Charlie started turning when the military veteran confronted him about Israel running the Western world. Well, I mean, obviously Charlie had known those type of arguments for years, but when it's that, I mean, after October 7th, it got, and then like a year later, it got really, really anti Israel, where the prevailing opinion was anti Israel on the youth right. So Kirk probably thought he had the reason, and you can kind of brush it off for a time period, but then if you keep doing it, you turn into like Ben Shapiro. And it's like, okay, dude, you're just a shill for Israel. You obviously don't really care about America. You care about America putting its interests into Israel and funding Israel and putting military assets into defeating countries that are at war with Israel. Dude, I'm sorry, that's really low IQ. Videos of the security team doing hand motions. The thing is, man, you go down slippery slopes like that, it's really you gotta like you could look at videos of certain things and try and decipher them, and I mean, because I know what you're talking about, and that's been disproven in terms of the hand motions and stuff like that. Like, you got to be careful with that stuff. You got to vet it. Like, did you ever talk on the Caitlin Clark stuff a few weeks back? I think what they're doing to Caitlin Clark is horrible. Obviously, that she's very successful. It's a predominantly black female league. She's gets all the ticket sales and drives the revenue, and they're extremely envious and jealous of her. So they foul her hard, and people within that league. I mean, it's all run by black women. People within that league obviously have a lot of envy against her. It's the easiest thing to see. And I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. I mean, I saw she was talking with Obama today or something, but his security team was Israeli. They were Mossad. That's interesting. Come on. Thoughts on Mina Kimes for NFL coverage? Yeah, I know of Mina Kimes. She's obviously extremely liberal. I don't watch ESPN, so it's like in terms of her actual coverage, I haven't seen a lot of it. Dude, okay, this comment is this come on, dude. Let me just reason with you for a second. Your comment is even Joe Rogan is saying something is up with Kirk's murder. You know that Joe Rogan was trying to insinuate that Netanyahu visiting a coffee shop was AI and that he was actually dead. Joe Rogan has had some real bad moments. Let's just be honest about it. Like, the idea that, oh, even Joe Rogan, dude, Joe Rogan thought Netanyahu was dead like 2 months ago when there were all these like conspiracies about it, and they all said it was, oh, AI, and that's actually not Netanyahu, and he bought into all of it. So let's talk about Joe Rogan's track record here. People just can't let the Charlie Kirk thing go. I know, I never even approached any of that with any videos I did, ever. Because I didn't believe it. Did you see Joe Rogan bending the knee, apologizing to the left for his free speech, saying the N-word in his stand-up? No, I didn't see that. I feel like I would have seen that if that was a bigger clip. Because I do see Rogan clips sometimes on my timeline. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of clips of Trump now.
But I'm probably being a little bit oversensitive. Sometimes I really do think that some of you don't like me. In fact, I read a report, I get 93% negative publicity. 93. So how the hell did I win the election by so much? Think of it, I don't think that's true. I can't believe it's 93. In the 80s maybe, but not 93. But this place is really the largest group of Trump derangement syndrome people ever put together at one time, I suspect. Some of you are lucky that our last dinner was cut short because I had brought with me what would possibly have been, I'm telling you, I had something. I was going to go after you. I feel so badly doing this. It's got to be such a letdown. Oh, yay. But your lives were really in danger the last time for an opposite reason. But on the plus side, your careers were saved, and we really do. We have a complete and total. You know, I love the words complete and total. They say, but it means almost the same thing. I said, it doesn't matter when you say it. It's called emphasis. It's called emphasis. But everyone is now really warming up. The new White House military center, drone port, highly protected ballroom. We have our ballroom. The windows are this thick.
Drone port. Now, Trump today, they asked him about LeBron James, and he's like, maybe he's a racist. He called LeBron a racist. He just says random stuff. Yeah, this is the rescheduled event. It was in April. Yeah, this is the rescheduled event. Thoughts on AI ruining the world? Well, I mean, AI is just a product of human evolution. Ironically, as we evolve, the technology is going to evolve, and it's just the way in which we move forward. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with AI. It's impossible to say. I think the rights of humans will be restricted more and more, ironically, as we get more technologically advanced. Now, Trump's not going to be impeached. They just don't have the votes.
If I knew or if I really could be involved to elections, maybe Democrats could have a little bit better results.
Well, we don't want that. We don't want that.
Wait, why would Zelensky be involved in U.S. elections? I don't know if he's joking there. Would you ever move to an SEC college town? No. Dude, college towns, I don't think as an adult you really want to live in a college town, let's be honest. I mean, they're good for kids, I guess, but you really want to be with, it's just not a good for an adult. Laura Loomer had 15 different camera angles for the interview. It does look very like a very clear picture and give her it's a good production. You black 3 Nazis on this channel? I don't think no one said anything bad. We've been nice. Diego Pavia getting cut from the Ravens. He's too small. He's just too small. And he's pompous. He's got the arrogant attitude. People are going to relish in it. But he did get really obnoxious, Diego Pavia, towards the end of last year. He was like doing the whole content with Barstool, and it's just a turnoff for people. And so that's why people don't really like him. I know. That's the thing. It's like it does have to be cucked to a degree. Imagine you and your wife living in a college town. Fuck, what the it's like, number one, you got to grow up. Number two, it's like you see all these college kids. It's just I don't think it's not a good environment for it's just Yeah, I did see the Family Feud, and it's I don't know, Family Feud. The way they do that is kind of weird. How you can just steal it. I didn't really see the entire thing, but I saw Barstool got 0 points. Cooper Flag, really, dude. Cooper Flag versus Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy's got to be like 5'7". There's no way. I mean, those NBA players are insanely tall. You got attacked by some Nazis? Not in this chat. Everybody's been very nice tonight. I see every message. You shouldn't be calling everyone you don't like a Nazi. You sound like a third grader. Learn to actually communicate with people. Shiloh Hendricks situation, it's terrible. And I guess, and I didn't see the charges, but what even is the charges against her? Is it harassment? I think Stephen A. Smith said he wasn't going to run. But who knows with these people, they get big headed, and it's like the Democratic primary is wide open. I don't think Stephen A. would do very good. Disorderly conduct in public. Disorderly conduct. Yeah, but I don't really understand that precedent, because then they could get so many people for disorderly conduct depending on if feelings were hurt. I don't really get that precedent. It's better if you're at least 5 minutes drive from the campus. But college towns, it's just like, isn't it all centered around the college, and the entire infrastructure and business is based around the college? Disorderly conduct, which luckily is very minor, 200 hours of community service. Yeah. Yeah, I saw something with Tony Romo with his mugshot. He got like I don't know what he got, something. What is it called? OWI?
I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a major tariff on Mexico because of the lettuce, and we're going to put a big tariff on Canada because of the smoke. All right, we'll get a combo. Which would you have, the lettuce or the smoke? I think I'll take the smoke.
Yeah, the smoke wrecked my daughter's swim meet.
Well, it's closed up a lot of countries. I've told Canada they have to do something about it. You know, we've never had this problem. All of a sudden, we have this problem with Canada. So we'll have to talk to them about that.
No, Columbus is not a college town. I mean, obviously, Ohio State's a major program, but Columbus is actually a bigger city. You can't call it a college town. Ann Arbor, Michigan is a college town. Norman, Oklahoma is a college town. Athens. They use 3 ways to take away freedom of speech: disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace, inciting violence. Yeah, that's where it becomes like an argument of how somebody takes it, because really it does depend on how somebody takes your usage of words. I mean, if they take it the wrong way, couldn't anything be disturbing the peace because somebody's disturbed by what you say? But then where's the freedom of speech in that? You know, it's one of those judgment things. Auburn, Alabama. Yeah, Auburn, Alabama. Dude, what is... Yeah, I saw this. I thought he was on Ozempic. My documentary on standing up to Donald Trump. And it's just this fat dude walking in through glass doors. You have a documentary of you standing up to Trump. Trump's probably talked about you one time this year. This is just sad, man. This is the thing. This is the grift of the Democratic Party. This dude had one little tussle with Trump, and he turns it into this entire story. This long documentary where they have to interview him probably in 10 different places in Chicago. Do you believe for Gen Z, dating looks matter the most? Well, the reason looks matter the most is because dating is globalized because of Instagram and social media. That's why looks... Because, you know, previously women didn't have all these options. Now they do. So obviously they're going to go for the, in general, best looking guy with the most assets. Although that's becoming secondary.
But I can exclusively reveal to you this evening that for the heaviest of the heavyweights, we will have sloppy Chris Christie, one of the sloppiest human beings you'll ever meet, fighting, I would say, I could mention the governor of Chicago, but I'm going to mention instead Jerry Nadler. And they're fighting for a big piece of cheesecake, big fat piece of cheesecake. Who the hell wrote that line? But it is true. And then you have a Congresswoman, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC plus 3. That's her 3 friends, right? AOC plus 3, and I watched her give that answer when she was over in Europe. It was not a good answer. If I ever gave that answer, I would be out of politics. Remember, you cannot have a 19-second wait time to answer a really a very quite simple question. But we'll then have a rematch against an extreme, simple question on a foreign policy from Munich.
Dude, he's trying to talk about the question that AOC flubbed. I actually didn't even see that, but I heard it was pretty embarrassing. Otani visiting the White House. First politician to campaign against hypergamy. Won't happen. First politician to mention hypergamy. Take your bets, James Fishback. Remember the guy yelling for Chris Christie? Yeah, I think I know it. There's no way. Chris Christie, everyone. Dude, he was waddling into that you know, it was like he got dropped off. He got dropped off and he had to enter a building, but you walk outside to enter. They're like, so he was signing an autograph. He is a big man, Chris Christie. And I think he was trying to get on the Retta or Ozempic. It's like the old people do Ozempic, the young people do Retta. Something like that. You wish Trump would stand up? Yeah, I think it probably would look like a better photo if he stood up. G. Scott Hudbutt. Legendary moment in the rivalry. Legendary moment. Bro gives a headbutt. Dude, the headbutt, that's one of the funniest things to watch is a headbutt with when they both have the helmets on. That's one of the funniest things. The headbutt. Biden forever. Yeah. That dude was paid. There's no way. Thank Obama for everything he did for me, bro. It's like this Haitian immigrant is getting deported. Did you see that video of the trans guy getting maced or bear sprayed? That was a recent video, I feel like. I saw it a few days ago. Bro. Like what are we doing here? They're putting a helicopter pad of black granite in front of the White House. You see Hunter Biden podcast saying there's a lot of secretly gay GOP Republican MAGA politicians. Yeah, that's been. I mean, that's what they were saying about Lindsey Graham, and that's a common thing. Trump is giving the worst speech of his presidency. Everyone is more interested on their phones. Yeah, but I don't even think it's a speech. It's like supposed to be funny. It's like a roasting thing. Could the next administration remove the helicopter pad? I mean, I think they can. It depends how serviceable it is. It's like you can do with this stuff. Trump has really stretched it. You can kind of do whatever you want. Honestly, it looks like. Look at what Trump's done. Like who even approves of this stuff? I don't know if that's in the front of the White House. Maybe it's the back of the White House. What is this?
We're going to sing a song. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand in honor of our ancestors.
I mean, what are we doing? The White House ballroom isn't going to be 2x larger. Well, they didn't make it taller, but it's definitely there's more area in terms of width. That's the problem with it. Yeah, the ballroom, man, I don't know. It's like, it's just, you look at the scale of DC, it's such a small scale, bro. You really can't build anything in DC unless it's like really small monuments. Like monuments like the Lincoln Memorial, and you could build a few more monuments like that in certain areas. But any big monuments, dude, it just doesn't work in DC because the scale is so damn small. Do you think they should have built DC in more grandeur? The problem is they designed DC when they not that they had no money, but they designed DC when the country was 4 years old. Or no, it would have been like 14 years old. Remember, they originally designed DC in like 1791. The country's like 15 years old. Obviously, you can't build this insane scale. So, and the funny thing is, when they originally designed DC, it was supposed to be a lot more. It was supposed to be a lot more grand than it ended up being, because they made it a square. Then it was supposed to be 100 miles total or whatever. Then you had the retro session, and like they ended up throughout the years, they kind of scaled down what DC ended up being. But the problem with DC is it's just like, how long are those buildings lasting when you think about it? I don't know. Like I like monumental structures personally. Are people still big on Trump, or is everyone over it? Well, it's still two parties, so Republicans are going to support Trump for the most part. But his approval rating is definitely dipped. Is Trump still trying to raise the military budget another $1 trillion? No. No, the budget raise would be like 150 billion. The military budget is 850 billion. They want to make it a trillion, so it'd be a raise of 150 billion. Are the midterms cooked? I don't think so. They've got very solid math for the Senate to keep the Senate. And the House, you never know with the House. I mean, it's not great. It's probably going to be lost. Maybe it's a simple majority for the Democrats. But you avoid losing the Senate. You really avoid any crazy... Well, it sucks because it's going to make everything harder, but at least there's no crazy narrative about because the narrative would be just that the administration has failed completely. They lose the Senate with those races. You're worn out with the war stuff. Yeah, I don't like the Middle Eastern war. Do you think that a future administration could basically rebuild DC? I don't think so, man. I think you have to build a new city. I don't. DC is what DC is. I mean, and to be fair, there is historical preservation with DC. I mean, at this point, it's like 230 years old, so you kind of have to preserve it. But I'm just saying the scale it was built, you could definitely build more monuments in DC, and I think it'd be really cool. But they have to be small. They have to be like 80 feet tall, 100 feet tall, because the obelisk is 555 feet, and that has to be the highest point because it's so skinny. If you built something taller than that and it's fatter, it's just going to destroy and warp the scale of the obelisk. The other problem with DC and any of these places, all these urban centers are so damn liberal, man. They're so liberal. There is not a conservative major urban center in the United States. It doesn't exist. I mean, maybe the closest thing is like OKC. Thoughts on DC becoming its state or becoming a part of Maryland or Virginia? Yeah, it would be good if DC became a part of Maryland. No, I don't think anything like that is going to happen. I think liberals always say they're going to make it a state. It's not going to happen. They say we're going to make it a state in Puerto Rico, and it's all talk, no action. But Republicans also do say shit like that, and nothing happens. I just don't think they're going to do it. The thing is, I believe you might need like 67% or something to even make it a state. They would never get 67% in the Senate, or like 67 senators out of the 100. So I don't think they can really make DC a state. Obviously, that would just be a power grab for liberals in Congress to try and get 2 more senators. What do you think about Tom Brady doing WWE now? Yeah, it's like these guys retire and they don't know what to do with their lives. I feel like they probably are. They're just kind of aimlessly. But with Tom Brady, you would figure he's got so much. I don't really see the point in doing WWE, but I guess he wants to do it. It's all staged, whatever, but he wants to be an entertainer. What is more likely, Alberta or DC in Puerto Rico? Unfortunately, it's DC and Puerto Rico, I would say, over Alberta. Alberta is a really tough sell because I don't even think Alberta's going to win this or pass this referendum. But even if they pass the referendum, that doesn't mean they're a state. They would just potentially become independent, and they still might not even be independent even if they pass the referendum. But I don't even know all the loopholes that have to go into Puerto Rico being a state. And I mean, it's like ass backwards. These people, they say, we hate the United States. It's terrible. Then they want to join the United States. I mean, technically, Puerto Rico is already a part of the U.S., but it's a relationship that we would like to keep as territory. You live in Cleveland. You subscribed to me for a while before 2024. You get the vibe. I live there. I don't live in Cleveland now.
She's a low IQ person, and she's also a very dishonest person, and she ought to get the hell out of our country. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't be in our country. She also calls her brother husband number one. Omar is reportedly being investigated for fraud. She revised her net worth. I was shocked to see that she was worth much more than $30 million. And then when the press got on her, she revised it slightly downward to less than 18,000. So she went from much more than 30 million to 18,000. I know Democrats.
If Alberta becomes independent, how does Canada supply Vancouver? Going around Alberta is they wouldn't go around. No. They would have a deal 100% with Alberta to be able to transport through. No, it wouldn't be hostile like that, where they wouldn't allow them to go through Alberta to get to British Columbia. Virginia would be more blue or liberal. Well, that's why I would want DC, but they would lose 3 electoral votes if DC joined one, at least. But the problem is, it does potentially put Virginia out of reach. That's why I would want them to go to Maryland. Maryland's already liberal. You having a good summer? I'm ready for fall, man. Hate the heat. Yeah, man, we had a nice day where the high was 71 degrees, and it wasn't cold enough though, man. It was like so close to being cold enough. Cause I like wearing something over my t-shirts, but it wasn't cold enough for that. It was close. I need it like low 60s, high 50s. I need it colder, I don't mind the summer. I think I would enjoy it more. I think you enjoy life more just if you're in like a better position financially and stuff. But I mean, I think summer is fine and it's fun to be in the sun. But it's not my type of weather that I like, because I like wearing layers on my body. I don't like having short sleeves. I don't like wearing shorts. Continental Coliseum. What is? I don't know what that is. Do you wear hair gel or no? I don't wear any. I don't put anything there in my hair. OKC's new arena. Well, that's a pretty cool name if that's what they're gonna name it. Did you end up moving? It's in the process. Yeah, it's in the process. Is OKC still building the tallest tower in the U.S.? I don't know. I don't know if that I think they scaled down the project. They might scale down the project a few 100 feet. Rate Trump's second term 1 through 10. It's like a 5.
So first, I believe this is a statewide problem. This is a stain on all of our reputations. It really, I think, violates a lot of the values we have as Texans. And so I decided to go because it's a statewide problem. And frankly, my constituents asked me to do something about this. So first, I believe this.
The border wall is a statewide problem. How's it a problem? Trump speech? Really? Well, people graded Trump 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Wow. We didn't even get our party in Iowa. Yeah, that was kind of canceled pretty quickly, wasn't it? Almost $1 billion for New Thunder Arena. Yeah, $1 billion. That cost of that arena is actually not very expensive. But also the education, you really have to be careful in terms of how you're counting education and how you're grading that. That has to be adjusted for demographics. And a lot of those, it's not in a lot of, depending on the metrics that you look at, a lot of them are not. So it's very hard to, in terms of like education, test scores, things like that. It's 100% confirmed. Well, that's a pretty cool name if that's, but you think they would use a branding of someone. They're actually not going to use they're not going to take a deal with someone, a branding deal for the arena. That's pretty sweet. There were previous NBA arenas that were named Coliseums, though. I mean, maybe currently there's none. Oh, it is an oil company, so they are doing that. Well, at least they're using the name Coliseum. Man, that's a pretty HD photo from 2001. It's like they restored it. Look at that detail. The wood detail. Credible threat. Iran was targeting the Qatar jet that Trump had. Trump needs to find a way out of the war before midterms. I don't think it's going to happen. Because if you try and get out of the war, you're not going to get the deal that you want. It's very obvious. Maybe they'll just give in and say, screw it, we just want to leave. I don't think so, though. Trump says we're making a deal, but Iran hasn't confirmed who is telling the truth. Dude, how many times has that been said that I wouldn't believe that at all? It's been said 100 times at this point. Where Trump says there's a deal, then there's really not. I heard that about Mississippi as well. No, I did hear that they turned it around.
I'm gone. You're all going to be broke. Your business model is going to be finished. No, it's true. When I'm not around, you're going to be broke. There's not going to be anybody to report on. Nobody gives a damn about anybody else. The New York Times the other day had 5 stories about me. You know, before I got into politics, in my whole life, I had 7 front page stories. This is years of success. I think 6 were good, 1 was bad. I had 5 stories, 7, 5 good. Yeah, I had a total of 7 stories on the front page of the New York Times. That's not bad. Now I average about 3 or 4 a day, all different topics, all bad, everything bad. But here we are. I mean, here we are. In fact, when I'm finished, I'm going right back to the Oval Office, so I have to be doing okay. But we are all doing good together. That's why tonight, to show just how much I care about the press, and I want to save your ratings, I'm pleased to announce my intention to, and this is a...
What should you bring the family get-together? Those get-togethers, it's always like, you make like a chip dip or something, is what I would say. Some appetizer. Something with bread or something. Dutasteride, better or worse than finasteride? Dutasteride is stronger than finasteride. I would not go on dutasteride. I would see the side effects you get from finasteride and then go from there. You get on dutasteride, it's very powerful. But it'll you know, a lot of guys when they get on finasteride, they immediately switch because they want the most powerful thing to keep their hair. You went down to the World Trade Center Museum today, and the Burger King and everything. It was weird. They have no mentions of Building 7 anywhere. Yeah, that Burger King were the headquarters, the temporary headquarters, of course. Yeah. But the weirdest thing about that whole area is Building 2. How they built the base, like the underground basement of it, and then they stopped construction, and it's been stalled for 10 years. And they've got those weird, like, walls of, like, ugly-ass graffiti art surrounding it. I don't know why cities do that, man. Like, that shit just looks so ugly. But, like, they have to cover up the base of this skyscraper that they were building. But now, apparently, it's funny. They had, like, a groundbreaking ceremony. I thought they were just building Building 2 on top of the base that already was built. Is that what they're doing? We need Bitcoin to recover for a final rally before the bottom. Do you really think we get it? Looks like it's breaking down. I understand that thesis. Maybe Bitcoin back up to 70K. It allows for the final bottom. I don't know what it's going to do, but I think there's going to be a final push down. And maybe that push down happens in September and not October. September is normally a brutal month for altcoins and for crypto in general, especially in a year like this in 26. Where it's the bear year, it's the midterm year. You feel like I'm never going to buy BTC. You don't understand the proud. Okay, dude. I have nothing against BTC. I hope BTC goes to 300K. But the problem is, even if BTC went to 300K, well, it's not going, number one, it's not going to, but even if it goes back to all-time highs, you're talking about an asset that's already valued over $1 trillion. I compare BTC to the Mag 7 at this point. Like, obviously my investments are going to be a little bit more aggressive than investing into a asset that has a $1.3 trillion market cap. It's just a strategy. I don't have anything against BTC. You keep saying, oh, you're never going to buy BTC. Yeah, BTC's at over $1 trillion. It's like, that's just not the strategy I use. I mean, what are we going to extract off of BTC from the lows of 4x in total? Maybe if it has a low of 40K. I will buy BTC adjacent assets if it drops to 50K. I'm not going to buy BTC exactly. You ever get Botox? That's what women get. I never got Botox. NFTs really are not a thing anymore. It was a dumb concept. It's just, NFTs are like worse variants of meme coins. Like, most meme coins are just complete shit. NFTs are like even a worse version, because at least meme coins have a community of humans. NFTs are just, there's just nothing to NFTs. Digital assets that it's like personal. No, I'm not a griper. Culver's or McDonald's? I mean, I get Culver's more than McDonald's. I never go to McDonald's. But I don't have anything against McDonald's. I don't know. I just don't really get McDonald's. I think sometimes there's just quality control. There's problems with McDonald's. Culver's has definitely become a major fast food joint in the United States. At least in the Midwest, it's definitely gotten huge. We got a Culver's maybe in 2016, around there is when we got the Culver's. You think BTC 67, 70K, then a 40K bottom? That'd be great to get a 40K bottom. I'd be able to throw a lot of money in at that point. I don't know if it's going to go down to 40K. I seriously have to, I do have to move in the next few months. Like, it's not a joke. Like, I have to vacate. You've never had Culver's? There's none by you? Well, they are expanding. I mean, they're probably going to end up putting one in near you, depending on how big your city is. Culver's, well, didn't they originate in Wisconsin or something like that? I never heard of that chain in Nebraska. There's a lot of local chains. Culver's burgers, but McDonald's fries. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Culver's fries. They're too fat. I like the skinnier fries. I do like waffle fries though. I think I probably like Chick-fil-A fries the best out of all of them, the waffle fries. Then the McDonald's fries, they're just so skinny. I mean, they're good, but they are very skinny. The Culver's fries, they're very generic. But I don't really like eating fries in general because they inflame. I get zits from them because it's just too much carbohydrates. I try and stay away from fries. But the thing is, let me say, I had a horrible diet. I probably went 6 months when I just had Culver's and Chick-fil-A. And somehow I didn't have any zits. I think because my body was used to it. Then I started eating healthier. Then I decided to go back to Culver's and Chick-fil-A a few times, and I immediately got zits. So think about that. Like, if I'm eating every single day, I guess my body was used to it. And then it was like, after I ate healthy for a few weeks, it was like, you can't do this. You're getting hair transplant soon. Wish you luck. You'll go up a few points. How bad's your hairline? Yeah, you got to be careful with the transplants, man. And maybe this is just because I'm aware of it, but a lot of them look fake as hell. It's actually hard to do a good transplant. You got to get a really good surgeon. A lot of them end up looking really artificial, almost like they've been sewn on. If you get a really boxed hairline, it's not good. I'm not a big fan of Raising Cane's. I've had it a few times. We have one here, but not in like maybe a few years ago I had it. I'm not a big fan of it. It's just chicken. I would rather have Chick-fil-A. I mean, I think Chick-fil-A is better. Raising Cane's is just like chicken strips, and I would rather have Culver's or Chick-fil-A over Raising Cane's, let's be honest. You need a fast food. Yeah, but I wouldn't be very good at a fast food burger list because I barely ever had In-N-Out. I've never had Whataburger. I never had that. A lot of them I probably haven't even had. Better than being bald. I mean, I guess I agree, but bro, if you see like a bad transplant, it looks really just like, I guess the right word is ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. Like, dude, this is not good. Like, you get a Norwood One hairline and it's a box, and you're like a grown ass white dude. You probably got to try and cover it. You know, the other problem with hair transplants, a lot of the times your hair in the back is like really wispy, and you bring it to the front, it doesn't really. It tends to act differently in terms of trying to style it because like it's a different wavy. The waviness of it is different. I've heard people say that. Yeah, I mean, you're in Southern California. I'm sure they got a ton of In-N-Outs there. It's honestly better for In-N-Out just to stay in like California. When they go everywhere, it's like it kind of ruins the immersion, you know? Because I went to In-N-Out once when I was in Las Vegas. And I mean, it's good. It's just a fast food burger. I don't really remember it though. It was a while ago. You're going to that dude? Dude, that dude's got to be in. I know who you're talking about, actually. The bald guy. Dude, that guy, that's got to be a 15K hair transplant. No way. You probably spending $20,000 for that, dude. In the United States? Thank you for the $2 donation. George Floyd is alive in Cuba, you heard. We all became smarter after reading that. Can you grow out a full beard? No, I can't. It doesn't grow right. The facial hair genetics, it's like once I get scruff, it looks decent. I grow it out longer, it looks really bad. But I haven't even been getting it to scruff. I've been really doing clean shaven the past 4 or 5 months. I used to always have facial hair, a little facial hair for the past like 6 years, but I just recently started clean shaven. How does it feel to have hundreds of random people grilling you? I mean, thousands of people do this. They just live stream it. It doesn't really, it's normal. Did your whale abandon you? They all swam away. I mean, actually, I did have a few whales. That was a while ago, though. I mean, to be fair, I stopped streaming. I did stop streaming, so it's understandable. Can't wait for the Sui drop. Are you looking for an entry? Yeah, dude, I don't know about Sui. I was looking at that Sui 2X ETF. It's risky as all hell, though. Hyperliquid, man, what a beast. But it's like, where's the entry on Hyperliquid? Yes, the bald guy, you're paying for it because of how good his results. Well, he does. I mean, I'm sure he has good results. But dude, how much does? Honestly, I mean, that's got to be $20,000. I don't see any in NYC, bro. You domestic hair transplant NYC. I understand why you would do it because you go to Turkey. It's just so many people go to Turkey. They literally, dude, it's a cottage industry. They set you up with a translator. I could never go to Turkey. These people go to Turkey, they get all these procedures, and then they're in a plane for 10 hours flying across the Atlantic back to the United States with like a swollen face. They get like jaw procedures in Turkey. It's way cheaper, to be fair, it is. But dude, that is a brutal travel. That is a brutal flight. You got to just try and take like sleeping pills or something. Take a one-time payment of $2,000 cash right now, or have Trump grow out a full beard and he keeps it for his last year in office. Well, what is his facial hair genetics like? I never even seen him have any type of facial hair. Is he able to grow a beard? You'd have to look at his father. Don Jr. No, that's true. Don Jr.'s got a nice beard. You go to Turkey or Thailand. Mexico's another big one for surgeries, cosmetic. Don Jr. definitely dyes his beard. Yeah, it almost looks too dark. Play OG CODs and stream. I'll play I'll play some Black Ops 1. I don't know about streaming it. Those eyes are crazy, man. Happy birthday, a few months away. Germans don't have beards, just mustaches. I think you mean Austrians. Cringy joke. No, you're right. They do mainly have mustaches. Why do most Muslim countries have no women's rights? Islam. Haven't watched you in a while. What do you think about the state of the U.S.? That's pretty vague. I mean, uh, not a big. I don't think anyone is a big fan of the state of the U.S. Nobody's satisfied. I'm not a fan of where the country is right now, but neither are liberals. So it's like, it's like Doug Ford is only relevant when tariffs come, and now they have to do interviews with him.
This food coming in, I guess, from Mexico, it's tainted. It's making a lot of people sick. That is the CDC's terminology.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a major tariff on Mexico because of the lettuce, and we're going to put a big tariff on Canada because of the smoke. All right, we'll get a combo. Which would you have, the lettuce or the smoke? I think I'll take the smoked.
Yeah, the smoke wrecked my daughter's swim meet.
Well, it's closed up a lot of.
Do you invest into the markets? Yeah, I do invest in the markets. I don't know. I don't think she's gonna. You're asking me where have I been? I've just been just living my life and pretty normally. There was a bit of a situation, but I just took a break from streaming, and there's just there's not much going on anyways. Did the U.S. do strikes on Iran today? I think they've been doing strikes every day. They're ramping it up again, but I don't know how long they can really afford to ramp it up like this. It's gonna spike the price of gas. They're gonna have to tone it down before the midterms. No, I didn't go see the Odyssey. I'm not going to comment on the Odyssey because it's like you got to see the movie for me. So I haven't seen it. I was potentially going to go see it, but I was like, that's a big investment, 3 hours. It's probably worth it to go see it, but how's the dating landscape been? You've been getting out? Yeah, I just need to meet someone IRL. I think that's the best. I think that's the most healthy thing for me is just to meet someone IRL. I just got to meet a girl IRL with no Instagram. It'll maybe a little easier said than done. 14th day in a row. The 14th day they struck in a row. Thoughts on the Fuentes Hunter Biden interview? I think Fuentes does a good job of connecting points. He does try and be very cordial with whoever he's talking to, so maybe a few times it's like, defending wokeism and stuff is kind of like cringy, but Yeah, I saw that about Elon Musk with the Odyssey with Mel Gibson. Who knows if that'll happen? Remember when they said the Iran war was only going to last 4 days? Well, I definitely remember they said it was not going to last long. And honestly, I do think they probably got horrible intel from Israel. They just fucking lied to them. They just lied to the administration. Israel did because they want the U.S. involved. Because there's no way. And I think it's pretty clear. And I heard even Glenn Beck say, he's like, Trump thought it was going to be over quickly. And really, what other opinion can we have at this point? I mean, obviously, I don't think Trump wanted it to go on for this long, but now they're kind of stuck. Good luck with that. All you see IRL are skinny, fit, average guys with obese women. Damn, is that seriously true? You know, I think the hypergamy stuff is real, but normally in terms of relationships, you end up kind of close to your looks match. But I do think a lot of the women, it's like their receptors have been completely destroyed. They've been warped because, you know, they view it as settling when they find someone that's on their level. It's like, you got to just find a woman that's complete. The problem is, dude, they go to these colleges. These colleges are just breeding grounds for sluts. Like, there has to be a better way to do this. And, like, you're almost expected to be a slut. You go to college. It's like, and they all go to college. Because what else are they going to do? I mean, most guys go to college too, but there's other avenues for them, like manual labor and stuff. You thought you would never find anyone, especially with the apps? You're domestically in the U.S., you're gonna get shut out. I mean, 6'2", 6'3", maybe, but you're probably gonna get shut out. You go on the apps in the U.S. You know, San Francisco is like, it is insane how the market is in San Francisco. Like, these ugly ass Asian chicks. There's no women in San Francisco, none. So all these tech guys are fighting over these Asian fours. It's like the most dystopian thing I've ever seen. And it's actually statistically true. How many men outnumber women in San Francisco? And it's crazy because, like, you could find 1 million of these girls in the Philippines or Thailand or another country, and they're like put on this pedestal because it's the specific dating market in the United States. You ever trade in the C6? I never got a car like that. That's a joke. Yeah, I think college is just such a horrible. Well, it instills such horrible values into women. It depends, though. You know, some of them, I guess it's all right. I'd have to really look at the numbers, but I mean, some of those sororities, you see some of the outcomes of the. It's just not good. It's bad for society. And then on top of that, we've got this. You know, it's almost like inflation. It's an inflation of college degrees. The amount of college, you know, it's like money. You print too much money, it becomes worthless. You print too many college degrees, they become worthless. It's the exact same thing. There's just too many college degrees. They're not worth anything anymore. Too many people have them. What do I drive? Am I into cars? I'm not really into. I mean, I would, you know, anyone would like a nice car, but I don't drive a good car. You know, there's no way I would really. I'm in the position to buy a new car at this point. I'd rather invest my money. Like buying a new. I was actually going to buy a new car a few years ago, and I could have probably gotten a newer one like after 2024 if I wanted to, but looks maxing protocol. I just don't do it, man. You know, if I got on a routine, I could definitely work out every day. I've done it before. I could work out every day. I think when I move, I can get into a better routine, and I can work out at 7 a.m. again. And that honestly, I think would help me because you get in some physical. The problem is starting that. Oh, it sucks starting intense cardio. It is horrible when your body's not used to it. See, when your body's used to it, not that it's easy, but holy hell, dude. When you start intense cardio again after not having done it, I actually tried to do it back in September. I remember I went to the gym and I tried to go on to the Stairmaster, and I like legitimately did do it for like 25 minutes like I used to do. Dude, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack after for like 2-3 hours. My heart rate was so elevated. I was like, holy, this just goes to show you if you stop working out. I mean, I could do, you know, the bench press and lifting weights and you just get sore. You try and do intense cardio after stopping it for 3 years, you got to build up to it like gradually. But even building up to it is like, it's challenging. Dude, I don't know about walking, bro. Walking is very time consuming. And I have nothing against people that walk. People say, "Oh, get 10,000 steps in." You know, 10,000 steps is like walking for an hour straight or longer. Like you have got to incentivize walk. You have got to like go out of your way in most cases if you want to walk 10,000 steps. It's not like, "Oh, it's a 15-minute walk." If you want to walk 10,000 steps, you have got to really put an effort to do it. That's why I would burn a fuck ton of calories on extremely high intense cardio for like 25-30 minutes. That's what I used to do. But that was in 2021. Not that I even needed to do it. With my body right now, it would be better if I just unfortunately if I just gained muscle and unfortunately I have to gain weight because my arms are too skinny. It's not good for an adult male. But then that requires gaining weight and I don't want to do that. Diet is just as important, if not more important than working out. It's more important than working out. It's way easier to just not eat like 300 calories versus burning 300 calories. Burning 300, it takes, you're just better off not eating. That's why people are on Retta and Ozempic. How's your brother doing? He's doing fine. Yeah, I do eat protein. Well, now I'm starting to eat more protein. I eat a lot of chicken. I'm fine with eating chicken, honestly, but sometimes I have to eat burritos, and I know that's not very healthy. You walk 12K steps every day. It takes 1.5 hours. After 4 minutes, you're basically burning pure fat. Yeah, I don't know about that. But 1.5 hours, man, that's a long time to do. Cut out bread and soda. Yeah, really, for me, it's not even the soda. You can just have diet soda or whatever. Um, for me, it's the carbohydrates. I like bread. Well, think about it. Bread. You eat a hamburger, it's bread. I mean, it's the bun. You eat fries, it's all carbohydrates. You eat a burrito, the burrito is all carbohydrates. That's the problem. You got to get back into skiing. Yeah, but skiing's only like a 2-month activity anyways. It's really not reliant. Skiing, it is a good workout. It's a decent workout, I'll say. Depends the slopes you go on. Americans eat too much processed garbage. I mean, look at our obesity problem. Obviously, we do. But the obesity problem is probably going to be artificially defeated because of these GLP-1s. Yeah, no, I mean, if you're gonna work out, carbohydrates are fine. If you don't work out, I've been sedentary. I've been sedentary for so long. You eat the carbohydrates, it becomes a problem. I also do eat ice cream. Hair transplants, they look fake. I mean, you got to get a good surgeon. A lot of them are bad. You went from 350 to 220. That's a great improvement. No, I mean, ice cream isn't horrible for you. You got to do it in moderation. But there's certain things that'll really. I mean, it depends. The thing is if you're eating like 3 meals a day, you're probably not in a good position. Normally I only eat 1 meal a day. I mean, but I do have snacks and stuff like that. You eat, yeah, pizza's brutal, bro. Pizza will tack on the weight for sure. Pizza's damn good though. It is very good. Tech stocks dropping. Poor earnings report thus far this month. What is your outlook for global markets end of the year based on rising oil? Yeah, but they're going to artificially drop the oil before the midterms. Tech stocks are dropping. Now, I have seen things kind of come down. It's the stock market. It's going to go up eventually. I mean, I don't know. They're heavily incentivized for things to be in a better financial position in the next few months. Unless they're just completely doing everything for Israel. Trump portfolio is doing bad right now. Yeah, that's what people. Okay, it makes sense because I have seen a lot of people say it's been dropping. Yeah, the Trump bank account or whatever, the $1,000. It really is a smart idea, and he's probably very happy his name is on that. The baby bank account. You used Reddit for a month, then stopped. Did you notice it immediately with Reddit? Does it just destroy your appetite? Yeah, that's the thing. I just have no structure. Mike Lindell's not gonna win, bro. What should you do when I go offline? Uh, go play BO1 Zombies. Whatever happened to Trump working on no income tax? I mean, we can say that with anything. There's so much shit that they say and then nothing ever gets followed up on. GTA or Skyrim? GTA is better than Skyrim. Skyrim's fine, but it's more niche. It's like Assassin's Creed to me. I didn't play Skyrim very much. Increased heart rate on Retta. But fat literally melts off in zero hunger or thoughts about food. But when you stop, it hits harder than ever. It's interesting. People get in that state where they don't care about food because of it. And obviously there's going to be a payoff when you get off of it. I mean, I would imagine you're just, there was a time when I didn't weigh much at all and I was constantly hungry. That's probably what it's like when you get off Retta. Thoughts on going out by yourself? It depends how good you are at socializing with people. If you're not very good at it, you can't. It's probably very challenging to go out by yourself. Unless you just want to be by yourself. I mean, I don't think there's a problem. You think it's because hunger is tied to insulin? I just look it up on ChatGPT. It'll probably tell you exactly why it is. I mean, obviously there's some type of mechanism that's being restricted. You go on Retta, and it makes you lose ghrelin. It's like ghrelin, the hunger hormone. It completely suppresses it. And then you get off of it, and it ramps it up times tenfold. And I have heard Retta is better than Ozempic or any of the other ones, but old people take Ozempic. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. When did I start? 9:30 maybe? Everyone like the stream and enjoy your night.